Hey, man, we rock the bell so very well, 'cause that's the name of it. Say rock the bell. Hey, man, we rock the bell so very well, 'cause that's the name of it. Say rock the bell. Hey, man, we rock the bell so very well, 'cause that's the name of it. Say rock the bell.
Drives you. And what's most important now? There are things that used to be important to me, they're no longer important. And that's why I've been doing Operation Clean Slate, getting a lot of stuff and a lot of people out of my life. I remember when I read the book, Who's the Matter with Me? I wrote down the names of the family members and friends that I communicated with most. And I asked myself the question, Is this relevant? This relationship, is it productive? Is it positive? Is this relationship, does it bring the best out of me? This relationship, this energy, does it challenge me, hold me accountable to a higher standard? People rub off on you. Academy Award winner Sidney Poitier said, when you go for a walk with someone, something happens without being spoken. He said, either you adjust to their pace or they adjust to your pace. Whose pace have you adjusted to? I want you to write this down. OQP, going forward, only quality people. I do not allow myself to be in the company of people that I know more than them. Why? If you're the smartest one in the group, you need to get a new group. No. Jim Rohn said something. He said, your life is either a warning or an example. A warning of what not to do or an example of what to do. And part of what I'm saying to my children, hey, be careful about who you're around with. I remember Mama saying, Leslie, if you run around with 9 broke people, she said, I guarantee you, you become number 10. And so as you look at growing your practice, as you look at making a greater impact in your community, as you look at the things that you want to do, and being involved in legacy building and making the rest of your life the best of your life, we have to constantly monitor and be mindful of who's around us and what relationships that we have. People say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Not just that, it's who you know and what they know about you. Do you have the kind of reputation in the industry that people will see you as a go-to person? God said to Abraham, you know, I make your name great. Didn't say I'll make you a great man. I make your name great. The reason that when Fab calls me, he's a good man. He calls me, I don't call everybody back. But when he calls me, because of how I see him and because of my relationship with him, because of his vision, because of his integrity, because of the stand that he's taken with his life, people say, practice what you preach. No, preach what you practice. And what I know about him, I'm going to answer his call. I'm going to follow up. And that's the kind of relationships going forward in and out of the pandemic that we have to continue to look for and to develop. Some of the relationships that we need to spend less time with. There's some people, if we never saw them again, it would be too soon. Yes, when I read that you earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends, I got all my broke friends out of my life. I used to be so broke, I walked past the bank and tripped the alarm. And so this is the time you have to look at who's around me, who's the matter with you. Here's something else. As you look at yourself, look at your goals, and look at the things that you want to do, put yourself out there. When I decided that I wanted to speak, I didn't want to just be a speaker. My goal was to be a dominant speaker in my niche. You've decided you want to be a category king or queen. You didn't just want to be one of the players, you wanted to be a player, the player. And that's why you're here. Iron sharpening iron. That's why you're here, learning some stuff that you don't know right now that will allow you to provide a quality of service for your customers and an experience so that when they leave there, they feel better about themselves. You're getting them in alignment with their vision of themselves and their body. They leave there feeling better about themselves, but talking about you because of the experience and because of the relationship. That's very important during this time in the distraction economy. What do you mean by, we're so distracted? So much stuff's happening right now. In many situations, you can't even hear yourself think. And here's something else. And I'm going to I've got something I want to send you. This is very important. The master key, when I'm looking at my life and I'm asking myself, how did I get here? Look for ways in which you can upgrade your communication. Steve Jobs said, your ability to communicate, he said, the storyteller is the most powerful person in the world. I want you to send me just I'm gonna give you something, get the free. It's called 7 Principles of Storytelling. And it's very important because you have to tell the story about your business. You have to tell the story about yourself and your ability to tell your story. It's today, in order in this noisy world where we are, you have to be good at telling the story about yourself and about your practice and being in alignment where people are and finding out how you can communicate with them in a way that they can hear you. One of the things about your industry and most industries that a lot of people don't know, it's an ongoing process of educating people with a story that creates the thirst. People say, you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. No, but if you know how to tell a good story, you can create a thirst where they want to drink. I remember when I ran for state representative and I had been fired from radio, and people who would ordinarily supported me when I was on the microphone, they said, Les, we love you, but man, you lost the microphone, editorializing about all these controversial things. We can't support you, man, and you don't have a chance of winning. You don't have no experience, and you don't have any money to fight the party. All the media supporting your opponent. But they miss one thing. I had a story. And when I was on air as a disc jockey, I used to talk about my mother. And when I went to the radio station, my opponent had over $40,000 because his brother was the head of the treasury for the AFL-CIO. And he had the money and the influence to get more contributors to his campaign than me. I'm a novice. This is my first time in the game. I remember a friend who was trying to talk me into running for office. I said, man, I can't do that. I don't know anything about politics. And Perkins said, neither do the people who run. So he went and got some petitions signed and said, man, you should run. People love you. And here I am on Friday before the election. It was a Tuesday. The election gonna be on Tuesday. And I came to the station, I had around $640. He said, what you gonna do with that? I said, I'm not sure. And then I got still and I thought, I said, can I go in the control room? And I used to do commercials. He said, yeah. I called my mother because I used to talk about my mama all the time when I was on radio. And I said, Mama, I need you to say something for me. I'm running for state representative. She said, Leslie, what kind of mess you in now? I heard because you're a big mouth, they fired you. I said, Mama, I just need you to say something for me. I ain't got time for this mess, boy. I said, Mama, I'll send you $500. I did Western Union. She said, okay, you better send me my damn money. I said, okay, Mama, I'm gonna record you, but you don't have to talk long. And I played a song by Aretha Franklin called Holy, 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 Come Together People. And then I had her say something. She said, hello, this is Mrs. Mamie Brown. When I raised my boys to be good boys. And when they got out of hand, I beat their behinds. Please vote for my son. He's a good boy. John Glenn called me, Senator John Glenn. He said, man, you call your mama on this dude, you gonna win this. And I did. I got 26,000 votes to his 3,000 votes, because people said when they went into the vote, say, I'm voting for Les Brown because his mama said he's a good boy. So being able to tell your story now, to be so good at it that you can't be ignored, to attract more customers, to get referrals, to create the kind of experience that people trust you, that people believe in you, that people feel a connection with you. Because no matter what you're doing and who you're talking to, when you go out in your community and speak to people, they're asking 3 questions. Who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? And so when you know how to tell your story, oh, the possibilities of what you can do and the impact that you can make and the reputation that you develop where people seek you out and the word goes out, it's major. It's major. So I'd like to leave this with you, that I'm open for questions. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish, or gulf, sickness or pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God, you'll get it.
Mr. Washington said, Mr. Brown, transform your mindset. Number 2, he said, practice, let us say together, OQP. Write this down. Only quality people. Only quality people. You don't want everybody in your organization. You want only quality people. Here's something else he said. Mr. Brown, yes, sir. And this is what we're going to do in this presentation. It's called presentation power. He said, develop your communication skills, how you present yourself, how you sell yourself. He said, once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. And then he said something else. Let us say together with conviction. I want everybody to join me on this. Let us say together, you got to be hungry. Say it again, you got to be hungry. He said, what do you want to do with your life, young man? I said, sir, I want to buy my mother a home. He said, you got to be hungry. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, people that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. He said, people that are hungry are relentless. People that are hungry are unstoppable. People that are hungry refuse to give up. People that are hungry, no excuse is acceptable for not making their dream become a reality. I said, I'm hungry, sir. I'm hungry to take care of my mother. I'm hungry to make her proud. I told my mother that she'll never have to pay another bill. I turned 18, and she hasn't, Mr. Washington. Hungry, sir, for another life. I'm not going to die here in Liberty City. I want to travel, sir. I want to see the world. He said, you can do that, sir. He said, practice OQP, only quality people. If you run around with 9 broke people, he said, I guarantee you, you'll become number 10. He said, work on your mindset. Listen to these audio programs I'm giving you every day. Lynn Turner, Dare to Be Great, every day. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, Jim Rohn, every day. Zig Ziglar, program your mind, Mr. Brown. He said, how do you plan to buy your mother a home? I said, sir, I want to become a disc jockey. He says, is that right? I said, yes, sir. He says, good. He said, work on your mind. Here are my car keys. What do you want me to do with this? At lunchtime, go in my car, turn on the radio, and listen to Paul Harvey. Why? He's the world's greatest communicator. You want to be successful? Yes, sir. He says, listen and study people that are great communicators. That's the key to controlling your future. I said, but that's at lunchtime. In order to be successful, you got to be hungry. You got to be willing to do the things today others won't do. Are you willing to do that to be successful? To buy your mother a home? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's what you have done. You've got some goals that you want to achieve. There's some things that you want to do. And you've said to yourself, I'm willing to face the no's. You said to yourself, I'm willing for people to laugh at me. You said to yourself, I'm willing to gut this out. You said to yourself, I'm willing to make this happen. You said to yourself, I'm going to do whatever it takes to build this business. I can do it. If anybody's ever done it at any point in time in history, then what's possible for one, it's possible for me, and I'm going to do it. That's what you said to yourself. He said, listen to Paul Harvey every day. So you want to be a disc jockey? Yes, sir. He said, I want you to create your format. What will your personality be? What style are you going to have? I said, wait a minute, sir. I want to be a disc jockey, but I don't have a job yet. And then he said something. He said, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. He said, you got to expect to become successful. Let us say together, I expect to win. I expect to increase my recruitment. I expect to be a great presenter. I expect to become a millionaire. It's my time. It's possible. It's necessary. It's me. It's hard. It's worth it. Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. Your homework assignment, and write down 5 reasons that will make it worth it for you. So when the tough times come, and they're going to come, when you feel like you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that's a part of the process, your reasons will be your rod and staff to comfort you, to take you through the storms of life. He told me, you want to be a disc jockey? Practice on your communication skills. Visualize yourself talking to thousands of people, Mr. Brown. See yourself on stage presenting. Be willing to invest in yourself. Warren Buffett was being interviewed by financial analysts on CNN. He said, what's the most important investment a person can make today? Warren Buffett, a billionaire, has billions of dollars in the stock market, billions of dollars in real estate. He looked at the reporter and said, the most important investment you can make is in yourself. The reason you're here, the reason you invested your money, your time and energy in transportation and the room and all the costs in a so-called tough economy, because you have the mindset of a billionaire. You know, investing in yourself, you are your most treasured asset. Give yourselves a round of applause. Come on, bring your energy level up. And here's the second to the last principle. Write this down. Repeat out to me. OQP. Only quality people. Yes. I want you to connect with at least 10 men before you leave here. Get their names, addresses, and phone numbers. 10 men who are dreamers. 10 men who want to do something with their lives. 10 men that you can get together and make a covenant. Where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I will be among you. Get together with 10 men who want to develop themselves, who want to grow, who want more out of life, who see themselves in the future doing better than they have right now. 10 men who've decided that the manpower experience will not just be an emotional catharsis, but they're going to go out and live the message that they've heard preached from this pulpit up here. 10 men who've decided to get serious about their lives, to make a commitment, to commit themselves and their ways and their behaviors and their habits to achieve a better life for themselves, for their families, and the communities and the people that they care about. Attach yourself with 10 men. Why? That gives you hope. When there's hope in the future, that gives you power in the present. Let me tell you what happened. Scientists did an experiment with rats, and they dropped them in water and they watched them and they timed it. And these rats swam for about 45 minutes and drowned. And then they put in another group of rats and they watched them, and just before they drowned, they took them out and they let them rest. Then they put in another group of rats, including the ones that had been in before and were saved. The ones that were put in the second time swam an hour and a half longer than the group that had been put in there for the first time, with the hope and the expectation that they might be saved. Listen to me. The power of assembly, the power of relationships. One goose can fly 75% further in formation with other geese than it can ever fly by themselves. It's important you find some men here who are serious. Oh, there are people who just came just to see. But there's some men here who are serious, who said, I'm going to change. I'll never be the same again. I want God to use me in a special kind of way. You want to find those men. See, there are two types of relationships. There are nourishing relationships and there are toxic relationships. Most people, when you leave here and you face the world and all of your negative, toxic family members and friends, it will knock the wind out of you. That's why you got to have 10 men to stay in your ear, so when you break down, and you're going to break down, when you go back to the fiery furnaces of this world and you'll forget everything you heard here, these men can stand with you. When you have your moments in the Garden of Gethsemane and you need someone to tarry with you, these men will pray with you. When you find yourself getting weak and losing control, you need someone to get you anchored again. And these 10 men make this the greatest manpower conference ever because of the relationship that you're going to develop with 10 men who share your vision for a better future. Can I get your commitment on that? And let me share something. There's nothing as powerful as a made-up mind. The human will. For Nelson Mandela, you look at your dream and think they're against the odds. A man being incarcerated for 26 years, with every major government in the world supporting his government and his oppression of his people, in prison. Even Joseph's accomplishment is pale in comparison to Nelson Mandela. And to go from prisoner to president, I say there's a Nelson Mandela in everyone here in this room. And he didn't do it by himself. Jesus didn't do it by himself. He had 12 men who shared his vision.
But I'm just thinking about myself. I'm doing a little bit of self-reflection, just listening to you. I'm just thinking about me on stage and things I'm telling my team. I can't believe how much a lot of your tapes and CDs have already embedded in myself. And by the way, I'm not taking any credit for it. It's just coming from the source right here. And how much of the catchphrases I'm seeing you say. I'm like, Ivan, right? How many times has he said something I've said in like 5 times. Easy. I'm like,
wow, yeah.
Like that's where it came from.
Yeah. Well, one of the things is that we have to train people who want to present and connect people how to deliver info bites.
Okay, if you're
An info bite to me is
Interesting.
live your life the way that you want to leave your life. Ladies and gentlemen, as I speak to you right now, if you had 90 days to live, how many of you will make some radical changes in your life? And most people raise their hands. And then you take a poll, and what the majority of them will say, I will quit my job. Why? Because that's not them.
Yeah.
They're not doing something that's them. You spend 40 to 60 hours a week doing something that's not you.
Yeah.
That's stressful. But if you're doing something that's you, that's your passion. And so when you realize that we have a choice to accept life as it is,
Yeah.
or be an active force for good, to decide, I don't want to just survive. This is not me. What it takes to survive and what it takes to live, those are two totally different things. And you got to be willing to work for that. A lot of people are afraid of that four-letter word. Willingness, W, the willingness to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. O, ownership of your life, taking full responsibility for where you are. George Bernard Shaw said that people that make it in his life, they look around for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, they create them. The R stands for willingness.